Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and watching our previous videos. So today we are going to learn about SQL Server. So we are beginning another series about databases. So we are going to start with SQL Server database. Then we will proceed with other databases. So for this series, we learn about SQL Server basics, clauses in SQL Server, SQL Server operators, joins in SQL servers, SQL Server indexes, and the rest. So we are going to see how to connect SQL Server using SQL Server Management Studio. So if you can see on my screen, I'm using SQL Server Management Studio, and I've already connected to our server. So we have some databases. As you can see, this is our SQL Server Management Studio. We have our system databases. So these are the system databases, and I have some databases that I've created. So SQL Server Management Studio is the most used tool to ensure that to write and execute SQL queries against SQL Server database. So we are going to use SQL Server Management Studio tool so that we write and execute SQL statements. So I've already connected to one of my servers, but if you want to connect, there is this icon at the top. If you click it, you can get this screen. So at the screen, you have the server type, which is the database engine, then the server name. So if you have different server instances, SQL Server instances, you are able to connect that. Then we have the authentication. So you can use the Windows authentication, SQL Server authentication, and even the others. So mostly we use Windows and SQL Server authentication. For me, I'm using Windows authentication. So if you are using the SQL Server authentication, that is the SA, then it will prompt you to provide the username and the password. But if you are using the Windows authentication, then it will automatically use the Windows account that you are logged in. So then you click connect, then it will connect to your server or the SQL Server instance. So that is how you connect to SQL Server. So for today, we are going to learn about creating, altering, and deleting database in SQL. So our discussion today will be based on creating, altering, and deleting SQL Server database. So in SQL Server, there are two types of database. That is the system databases, these ones. We have the master model, MSDB, and TempDB. Then we have the user-defined database. So I'll just create another database called. So to create a database, you'll just click on new on the database folder, then new database. Then you click. So you provide the database name. This I'll provide called college. Database called college. Sorry. So college, then click OK. So you'll be able to see your database there. So on this database, we have the tables, the views, and the programmability. That is where you'll be able to see the stored procedures, functions, and the rest. So this is our database, which it doesn't have any tables. So this is the user-defined database. So to create a database, you can do that. So you can actually click a new, then a new database, or you can use a query. So you can actually delete this, and we can say create a database. Then you provide the database name college. Then if you execute, it will create a database. So if we refresh this, you'll be able to see a database called college. You see, we have it here. So that is another way of creating the database. So you can also rename a database in SQL. So we use the command alter database. Then you provide the current database. Then you provide the current name. We say college. Then we use modify. Alter database, then database name, then modify, then we say name, we say colleges. So we say name is equals to colleges. Let me just put this. So alter database college, modify name is equals to colleges. So if we execute, that's fine. So if we refresh, let's refresh here. You see our database name is now colleges. So alter database college modify name is equals to colleges. So that is how you create database. So to delete, you use drop database. Then you provide the name of your database. Drop colleges. So if you execute this, then the database will be dropped. So if we refresh, you can see we don't have any database. So that is how you drop the database. So whenever you drop the database, it will actually delete the LDF and MDL files. So you can drop a database if it is currently in use at that time. If you are dropping a database and it's currently in use, then it will actually throw an error. So that is it about creating databases. So on our next video, we will showcase how you create tables in SQL. So consider watching and subscribing our channel.